and slow down. Now, and this is a fairly difficult solo, but there are some familiar aspects of it which you should have begun to notice by now. One would be the example of phrasing and the pauses that occur at fairly regular intervals here in measures 4 and 8 and 12. But they're not simply your garden variety pause, which starts at the beginning of the measure. Each has a little bit of a twist to it. And for example, in measure 4, the way that phrase ends on the non-accented beat there, I find that to be particularly appealing. And in measure 8, we find the phrase ending on the second beat of the measure. Let's see, that goes. Instead of just playing, could have done that, but makes it a little bit different and just sort of defies the audience's expectation. Like so. Then the same thing is true in measure 12, where again we end on the second beat of the measure. And we also end on kind of a funky note there, that flatted third. Now let's look at measures 5 and 6, where we have an extended lick over the 1 chord, and this is my my new favorite lick here that we've got here. It's a nice lick. It's very sort of symmetrical sounding and looking also, and it involves some left hand damping, which you should find a little bit challenging. To begin with, it starts off pretty much with an 11th arpeggio. As the pickup notes outline the 1, 3, and 5 notes, and then we move up to the 7, 9, and 11 notes. And again, we're going to be lifting each finger of the left hand in turn as it sounds its notes to keep it sounding crisp and staccato. And then this time, instead of just playing a straight roll and then sliding up, we go back to the pick note on the D string one time. So it's, and then we slide up, resolving that to the 3rd and the 5th. And then we repeat that same sort of position there on the high set of strings, this time sliding from the 7th to the 9th fret on the G string, and coming back again on the G string as the 4th note, and this time we slide up from the flatted 7th to the 1st and the 3rd. So there we're taking let's see, a 5, 7, 9 arpeggio and sliding it back up to the against the 1 and the 3rd. Now in measure 9, we see a whole section of flat-picked material, and begins with a little lick here that not only is it kind of challenging to play, but makes a good exercise. And I want to stop there for a second and talk about the use of this F note right here, where we see. And as you probably know, there's no F in a straight A major scale. This gives it kind of a augmented sound, since the F is sort of the sharp 5 note in an A major scale. And it sort of introduces a note of tension here, which is then resolved by moving us into the 4 chord immediately afterwards. So, and this is a fairly common device that jazz players have been using this for a long time, and I find it works pretty well in a country context. Also, this little augmented lick, getting us, it's a kind of a nice thing to do over a 1 chord where you want a kind of a 7th or a dominant kind of a sound. Instead of playing just 7, you could play an augmented to get us into the 4 chord. It also works over a 5 chord when you're trying to get back to a 1. You can sort of add that in there sometimes. And that's it for solo number 9.